Welcome to another show Sunday. Yay! This is actually the only show that I have for October. But we're getting off the death train. So
Are we really?
not really, but death is not in the name of the show, so that's something. That's true. Admittedly, this probably actually has as much death as the other ones. Okay, maybe not as much as Light, but regardless.
Oh, fuck that man.
We watched Erased. So I don't even really remember how I learned about the show, but I found the premise very interesting because I hadn't watched like a mystery thing in a while back then. And I think I actually watched it as it was airing, so all the cliffhangers were made even worse by that.
Yeah, we were joking that, like, because they're like, when do we stop? Because we watched the first 7 episodes. The original plan was watching 6, and it was just like, and because the first episode 6 ends in a cliffhanger, it's like, well, do we want to continue with episode 7? And I'm like, well, knowing this show, it's also going to end in a cliffhanger, and guess what? So...
It sure fucking did.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a mystery, like, it's kind of expected to do that, yeah. But still...
I guess you guys talk about it first.
Didn't we watch this?
We did watch this together, but you can talk about your second time.
Oh, it is kind of interesting because I forgot a couple of details. Okay, wait. This is a mystery, and it hinges completely on the premise. How much do we talk about this?
Try to be spoiler free.
I mean,
okay,
because like I think this is the best way to put it. So there's mystery involving the deaths of people, both current, quote unquote, and also in the past. And the sort of connection with that is and this sounds kind of like a spoiler, but it's revealed like very early. Is that the main character has this sort of weird thing where he like sort of time travels back into like, his backwards sort of when certain things happen, and usually he says that it's things that happen every like, he goes back just like a couple minutes. Then like the example they show in the beginning is that like a truck's about to like run over a kid, and he's able to like, stop that. But then something else happens regarding that. And it's sort of it's a connection and trying to see, again, it's a connection between people dying in his past versus people dying now, and what's going on, how can things be solved, possibly with, some time travel shenanigans and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good way to put it.
Okay, I know a good way to phrase how I wanted to say this. Certain characters, I forgot how big their role was.
That is true.
Wait, so Mike, have you seen all of it before?
Yeah, I watched it. Okay. I've watched it, yeah.
Oh, I thought, for some reason, I thought you'd just seen, like, the first couple episodes or something.
Yeah, no, that's probably some other show, but, I heard that one of the movies is pretty good. This has a couple of other iterations, and I think they have certain differences in them, and I was kind of like, I feel like I would like to watch like one or two of the other adaptations that aren't trash, but I have to remember what the original premise was like all the way through, because I remember the ending and I remember the premise, but I forgot a lot of the details in the middle. I did remember who my favorite character was though. After we started watching this, I liked Kenya.
Kenya's really good. Yeah.
I like him. Of course, I like Satoru as well and Kaio, but if I was to pick a different character who was my favorite, it was Kenya. And I remember that he had a larger role. I didn't realize it was later. So I was like, wait, I thought Kenya's role was bigger.
Well, I feel like I've heard that there is a show called Erased, but like I didn't know anything about it besides that. So I'm coming into this blind.
Which I think is the best way to come into the show.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And I think again it's done well. I was mentioning the cliffhangers earlier, and it sounded like I was complaining about it. I'm not complaining from a storytelling perspective. I'm just saying it's like from our perspective of like not watching the whole show. It's annoying in that way. Uh, but like it's done well, so I can't. It's not. Yeah, there's not a criticism with that.
It's doing its job.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and yeah, I was kind of mentioning earlier there was a moment where it's like, oh, everything seems to be nice and like everything's actually working out, and I'm like, nope, something's about to get fucked, and it's like, yep, it gets fucked, and I'm just like, okay, I so and that's kind of happened a couple times actually so far, and I'm just like, again, it it works. It's kind of the point of what they're going for. So, and as someone who is, I feel like I'm giving myself too much credit when I say this, but as someone who is, constructing a narrative through a D&D campaign right now,
Hmm.
having shit go off the rails right when things start to finally seem to be settling down, yeah, I'm guilty.
I mean, that's your job as a DM to keep everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too because the players, they're just like, man, we never catch a break, and I'm just like, yeah, I mean, you're protagonist, so like you kind of can't. So... but yeah,
Oh, go
and
ahead.
I think the show does a good job again of like it does when I say have like oh, this moment's too nice or whatever, like the moment is nice, and there are moments that like if you do just sort of take it as it is legitimately like nice kind of even like calming soothing moments, but there is that undercurrent of like something's gonna be wrong because that's the nature of the story,
Yeah.
but of course you don't know what's going to go wrong because again that's the nature of the story, so it works in that sense quite well. And the one thing that I kind of wish they did a little bit more, because they only really did it in the first episode, was like weird editing.
Oh
Like
yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
like they have like sounds that kind of just like jump in, right?
Yeah.
And they were like
Mhm.
almost too loud, but like
Mm.
I think that worked for what it was going for, and I feel like that after the first episode they kind of haven't done that as much. I don't know. It was kind of an interesting stylistic choice that I kind of wish they continued. Maybe that shows
I
up
kinda
more
wish
again.
too.
Maybe it shows up more
Yeah.
again near the end. I don't know. But again, that's not to say that like the normal episodes are like underwhelming or anything. That's not true.
Mm.
But there's just kind of one thing that I did happen to notice. Yeah, I don't know. I have like a far off guess as to like something that makes any sort of sense in terms of who the killer is, quote unquote. But like, I don't even know if I want to say it because it's one of those things where it's like, if I am right, then like, I don't want to ruin it. So I don't think I'm right, but I don't fucking know. So
I guess.
never mind.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I guess this is a good segue to now. This is the end of the spoiler-free content. Please watch the show
Yes, it's good.
because, as a mystery, it is best seen blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only 12 episodes, and again, we only watch 7 because we want to go to bed. But yeah, so it's not very long. Any other 20-minute episodes. So yeah, the whole thing. You can definitely get through the whole thing in a full day if you have the time for it.
Yeah.
Which you should do. So yeah.
Yeah,
Go-
get
go
on
do
it,
that.
guys.
Go do that.
Go now. Go forth. All right, spoilers. Okay, yeah, the person whose role I forgot was as big as it was with Irie, because I forgot that Satoru goes back to the present for actually quite a long time.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like when
Yeah.
he went back to the past after episode 1, I was like, I thought that was gonna be like the whole story, basically.
Mm.
So then when they had Coyote die again in like at the end of episode 4, I think it was. I was like,
I think so.
oh, okay. Didn't really okay. What are they going to do now? And so then it's like back to the present. I was like, okay. And then I was kind of, but then I also was kind of like, so are they now just done with the past? Because that'd be kind of weird if it was like, okay, we're gonna go into the past for like 3 episodes and then not touch it again. It'd become, but no, they did, go into it again after episode 6. So, okay, fine, fair. It's like the show is predicting the potential criticisms I might have, and then being like, nope, we know what to do. Don't worry, you're fine.
Everything's fine.
It's like, I got you.
Yeah.
It's just like what Satoru says about his mom. Which?
Yeah. So
that's it, Balin. Your favorite character is the mom.
Okay,
actually.
from episode 1, I don't know if I would say that's still going forward from that. I don't know. She just had kind of a bit of a sass to her, which was fun. So, which is interesting because I feel like that doesn't come out when he's a kid, which I guess makes sense because he's a kid.
Yeah, because he's 10.
Yeah. So, in terms of, so far, who would I say is the favorite? I don't know. I also agree that, like, I think having Irie be, like, more important, that I think was good, because, again, I also kind of thought she would be not as important. But, I mean, again, she is, like, in that brief kind of flash in the opening that has his mom, and, Kaio in it, so,
now we know why she is there, because she also was almost killed.
Yeah. I've actually, I thought they were just gonna kill her, actually. But...
I originally also thought that too. I was like, oh god,
yeah,
she's gonna die.
Her house, like, exploded, so...
Yeah, that said, I have to have, like, the most minor nitpick with that. When she first, like, sees the smoke or whatever in her room, and she goes to, like...
Oh, yeah, and then she opens the door.
Okay, yeah, first of all, like, okay, yeah, don't do that. But second of all, like, you can see that, like, there's a window in her room. Why didn't she just go out the window? So, like, like, even if it was, like, the second story or whatever, like, you're not gonna die from that kind of fall. Like...
Yep.
Whatever.
It's like, you might as well try.
Yeah. And so
I think she had a lapse of judgment.
I mean, again, it's not the biggest criticism, because, again, obviously people don't necessarily react super rationally when shit like that happens, but still, it was just sort of like, there's a window that was over there. Okay. So, but yeah, there's that.
Oh, if we're also talking about small criticisms, the one thing that I wish they didn't quite do was make, like, tease the fact of Irie and Satoru having a romance, too.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, I wish that wasn't there.
Yeah, good, because they said she's 17? Is that what it was?
She's 17.
Yeah,
okay.
She's 17.
I couldn't remember
if they wanted
16 or
to
17,
go,
but yeah.
If they wanted to go with that, they could have at least made her, like, an adult.
Like
or
19 or something, yeah.
19,
Yeah,
20.
it's a little weird.
No.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I kind of wish wasn't there. Then the pizza manager guy is the pervert, and
oh yeah, that's the other thing where he's just like, staring at her, that whole weird conversation. It's just like, alright, bro, like, calm down, damn. Yeah. You want to hear my outlet? I don't know if the thing is, you've both seen it, so I'm like, I don't know if I would want to say what my out there theory is. It's probably wrong, because I'm like, if I am right, I don't know how you're going to react to that.
Well, you can say it.
Okay.
And we won't say anything back.
We'll give it a 5 seconds of silence.
Okay, well then what's even the point of saying it?
Well, it'll give us an idea.
Okay. I don't think he is straight up the killer, but I think Kenya is involved.
Okay.
He's the only other one who, like, knows anything, basically. That's my main argument. Well, there's the other guy at the end who's during the card game. I forgot his name.
Hiromi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I feel like that he's not, like, been focused on at all. Where Kenya, like, is specifically given more of a focus, especially this, like, second time that went back to the past. So Again, I don't think literally Kenya himself is killing people. That doesn't line up really, but like again, yeah, but like
He's going around
yeah.
slaying people, then moving town to town.
That's actually why he's my favorite character.
We all know
Even
that you're a
11-year-old
we all know you're a bloodthirsty psychopath. Oh wait, and why? See, we know exactly. No, see, it lines up perfectly because your favorite murderer. You have another murderous child that you like so much in anime, and that's the one in Fullmetal Alchemist.
True.
Oh yeah,
That is true.
You love that character so much.
I totally do.
Mm.
I'm gonna punt him out a window.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I don't know. That was my random theory that I had. It's probably wrong, but I don't know. Because I know, well, the other thing I know is they've specifically avoided showing the face of, like, the, the fucking, the city council guy. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, he's obviously involved. But, like, but the thing is, like, it wouldn't, knowing these kind of stories, they're not just gonna be like, who did it? This random city council guy that you've never met and is not important to anyone else. Like, that doesn't seem reasonable.
Yeah.
So even if that is who it is, I'm like, there must be some sort of connection, personal connection that's being missed. So maybe he's like Kenya's dad or something. I don't fucking know. Like that's just again, that's why I'm thinking it's some sort of connection there.
It's the Kenya family conspiracy.
It's actually the son of a mafia boss.
He is the only blonde child.
That's true.
That is true.
Yes, that he must be guilty. He's white.
I actually don't remember the explanation for that.
It's anime. That's the explanation. You can have whatever the
Yeah,
fucking
that
hair
is
they
the
want.
only explanation.
That's true, but everyone else's hair is either brown or
Don't
black.
think too hard about it. Don't think too hard about it. I guess
See, it's hard to talk spoilers about this again when both of you have seen it and I haven't.
What helps though is that we haven't seen it in a very long time.
Still.
So
You saw it when it came out.
yeah. So that was a while back.
Still, I'm sure you didn't forget the ending completely.
No,
Yeah,
the ending I remember. But I guess watching it through the second time, I'm like, oh yeah, these are some of the details and stuff like that. And the thing is because I know what the ending is, I also know what to look out for. Which
Yeah,
I
that's
can
fair.
say that this show is good on a second viewing too.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Actually,
Go ahead.
No, you finished because I kind of have an addition to that.
Which then it's like, oh, I kind of see how like the pieces are working together and stuff like that, and like, oh, I understand why certain things are happening the way they are happening. So it's like, oh, this is actually really interesting. And then same with there are certain details that I completely forgot too. I had remembered that Kenya plays a larger role, but
I couldn't remember how either.
yeah, but I had completely forgotten about some of the other points until I was like, oh yeah, wait, no, that is actually important. I can't say what it is because we haven't watched that episode yet, so I can't spoil it for Valen. But yeah, Valen, you can go ahead though.
Oh, well, it's just I was remembering, because again, part of what kind of comes up is that different characters seem to say, like, the same lines of dialogue. Specifically, actually, the mom, Kaio, and,
Irie?
I don't know why I just totally blanked her name for a second.
All the three women.
Yeah, like they share dialogue, and again, that's noticed, and so I'm wondering again if there's somehow some weird like family connection or something that's going to be revealed with that. But I'm kind of like not super sure about that. Partly, and now I feel like I'm psyching myself out, but specifically because Maya was like, I didn't remember Irie being that important, so I'm now just like, maybe I'm wrong. But like, I don't know. Whatever.
It's mostly because I had forgotten that episodes like 5 through 6 are
in the present.
That was mostly why I forgot. And then I was like, yeah, wait, why is there an explosion in the opening? Because the opening does tell you at least a couple of the major things that happen.
Mm.
Yeah, I noticed one thing in the opening is that like there's like a thing that like floods with water, and I'm just like,
You're like, when does that happen?
yeah, um, yeah, I do wonder if they're ever like gonna actually like explain the whole like what does he call it? There's a name for it.
Revival?
Revival. If that's ever like explained at all, or if it's just like this is a thing, whatever. Like, because I feel like I'm not saying it needs to explain it. I'm just wondering if it's going to.
I don't think that this isn't a spoiler. I don't think it ever gets revealed, actually.
Yeah. I
just a weird thing that happens to this
fair
guy.
enough. That whatever. Yeah, but. Actually, you know what my immediate thought was?
Hmm?
And mine's gonna love this. It made me think of the whole visions in Xenoblade 1.
Oh.
A little bit different. It's not you're not literally rewinding it, but it's you're at least
Right.
you're seeing a little bit into the future and predicting from that. But then every now and
Yeah,
then you get like big predictions of stuff that's like way in the future. So it's sort of the opposite in a sense.
At
Yeah.
least Sawther's a better protagonist than Shaw.
Oh boy.
Actually, that just reminded me of a Xenoblade meme that I want to show you at some point. Anyway,
Okay.
do that before we leave tonight. But yeah, I definitely want to see more. I want to see the conclusion of this.
Yes.
We are possibly planning out how to do that formally.
Yeah, because we have the several shows we want to finish.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, I don't really know what else I have to say. I do think just sort of the general sort of portrayal of abuse is overall handled well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
same.
So that's calling it good is weird, but you know what I mean.
It's
Yeah.
handled well.
It's
Yeah.
handled, yeah, appropriately and stuff, where it's kind of like people notice it, but then the lack of people saying anything about it kind of
Mhm.
perpetuates it. And then it's like, even if you try going through the proper channels, there are not even a guarantee,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, the other thing is that I actually read the manga for this too, which it completed it. Which for the most part, it follows it pretty well. And I understand why they cut out some things. Like for instance, there's actually another case that Satoru has. Like you remember in the beginning with the truck and stuff?
Yeah.
So there was actually another chapter that kind of again put him in a situation where he had to rescue a kid
I see.
in the present and stuff. So it was like, so it gave the impression at first, like, oh, this is how the story is gonna go. He's gonna be in the present and everything, and this is kind of the superpower. Then it's like, nope, he gets sent back 18 years. Woohoo.
I do kind of wonder. Was it that the manga was specifically written like 2006 or whatever?
I don't know actually.
Because it seems because again the anime like this was like what 2012.
Yeah.
I think so.
I closed it, so I don't know. But yeah, so it's kind of weird where it's like, oh yeah, the modern day 2006, and it's like the anime was not really made close to 2006, so it's just kind of odd where it's like, oh, wait a minute, but
oh, the manga ran from 2012 to 2016.
Oh.
I guess they just randomly picked 2006.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. See, now I'm wondering, like, maybe if this is like very loosely based off of like something that really happened. Like, obviously not the specific story, but maybe there was like a whole like, I don't know, a string of kidnapped children in like 1988 or something. I don't know. You just seem kind of like
Can you
weirdly
imagine
specific.
there's like actually a dude out there who can time travel a couple minutes and then time
Oh yeah, that totally.
the
Yeah.
past?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. No, but yeah, I don't know. She like kind of
Captain
weird.
America did it.
Yes, the pinnacle of realism. But I don't know. I just kind of felt like it was a weird, random, specific years to choose, but whatever, doesn't really matter.
It's interesting though. I wonder why they put 2006, or maybe they wanted to portray the 80s. I guess.
I don't know. I mean, there's not. They don't. I mean, they don't really show any like 80s isms because it's like, you know, you're seeing it for the eyes of like a 10-year-old kid while this other shit's going on. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it was interesting hearing some name drops like Final Fantasy,
Oh yeah, Dragon Quest
Dragon
3.
Quest.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this thing is funny. It's like if we play Dragon Quest, all we'll talk about is Dragon Quest. It's just like, yeah. Also, here's your random fact that I think is kind of interesting. Because they specifically say they don't say exactly what city, but they say that like the past stuff takes place in like Hokkaido, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's like snowing pretty much all the time that they're there.
Mhm.
Well, so you know, Hokkaido, specifically Sapporo, is the snowiest city in the world.
Oh, really?
It's the city that gets the most snow out of any other in the world. So it actually makes sense that
Oh.
it's all snowing when they're there.
Huh. I didn't know that.
There's
I
your-
guess it also. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's your random geography fact.
Yay!
Yay.
I was gonna say that then also makes sense why I like instead of all right, run laps around the track. It's like nah, you ice skate around the track.
That would have been more fun.
It's
Yeah.
more practical.
It is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, because people think that like if it places that because like Sapporo is cold, but it's not like ridiculously cold, right? It's not the middle of
Yeah.
Russia, right? But the thing is, most places that are very cold are drier, so it just doesn't snow as often.
Yeah. That's right, because Japan's hella humid.
Yeah,
Right.
and especially it's on an island, so that the water's right there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like surrounding it, like all, like, especially Hokkaido, because Hokkaido isn't separate from the mainland too.
yeah, and because this is just a general sort of like chemistry fact, but basically, the warmer the air, the more moisture it can hold. So hence, if it's cold, then it's usually less. But again, if you're right next to the ocean, then that helps. So, yeah. Also, you can actually even like northern Japan can even still get some like residual effects from like the East Asian monsoon. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So anyway, side note, I was just thinking about it during when we were watching this. It's like it's snowing in Hokkaido, and it's like yeah, that makes sense. So yeah. So anyway, but yeah, this was good. I want to see more of it.
Yes, and we shall.
Yes,
Um,
not immediately,
yes.
but
yes.
we plan to.
Soon.
Yes.
So, Fallon, you were up next.
Oh yeah, I have
with
to talk
your-
about the next thing, right? I forgot that was the thing we do.
Mhm.
Yes, so I am picking the non-anime, the one that we're doing for this month.
We have
And-
to have another combo breaker.
Yeah, it's always me. I'm always ruining the fun. So this has been on my potential for a while as something to show off, but I was like, I don't know if I want to do it now. And I'm like, well, now's a good time as any, given the whole Halloween thing. So we're gonna watch Black Mirror. Now, obviously, we cannot watch all of Black Mirror. That would be like days worth. So most episodes, there's a range, but most of them are about an hour. And so I'm just picking, and also all these episodes are pretty much their own thing, so you can kind of jump in wherever you want. Like, to be honest, I kind of don't recommend watching the first episode because I think the first episode is like honestly not that good. Like, it's okay, it's fine, it's not bad, but it's not as good. And also, it's just like I think it kind of doesn't really fit with like the overall theme of most of the show. So, anyway, so I am specifically chosen 2 episodes. I've chosen the episodes The Entire History of You and Nosedive. I don't think neither of these are my flat out favorite episode, but they're close.
Okay.
And plus, my full on favorite episode is one that I think you should not watch first. You should watch other episodes first. Not for any like plot reason, but just sort of to get the overall vibe, because my favorite
Right.
episode is one that's a bit against the grain, which is like
Oh,
so therefore you'd want to get the overall vibe first. So I'm very curious what you're going to think of both of these. They are uncomfortable, but like
boy.
not necessarily. Well, okay. There's one moment that's kind of gross, but you can see it coming, and so you'll know when it's going to happen.
Okay.
okay.
But overall, it's not. It's mostly just sort of mindfucky, kind of messed up in a sense. So
Okay.
yes. And I believe they are actually working finally on the season 6, which they hadn't been doing for a while. So
Yeah, I hadn't
That's
heard
okay.
of like Black Mirror was a big thing, and then I just stopped hearing about
yeah,
it after a while.
I think the last stuff actually came out in 2019.
I guess
Wow.
they just took a long break or
It's
something.
been a while. I know. I remember in like 2020 or 2021, someone was interviewing the main showrunner, and it was like, "Hey, you gonna do more episodes?" And he was like, "Real world's fucked up enough right now. Like, no." So this basically.
That's fair.
So,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm like, I believe they're working on season 6 right now. So there's that, I guess. But anyway, so that's next week. Entire history review and nosedive for Black Mirror.
Alrighty. And with that, good. We now have death, erased, and black.
Yes.
Yay!
We erased the death so much that we're left with a mirror.
Yeah, that's exactly
Because
what
that's
happened.
yeah, that's yes, exactly. I'm the physics teacher. I obviously know what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.